December 25th, 10 AM, Detention Centre Visitors Room. It's Christmas! Yeah, it's Christmas. Hello everyone, Triple S, back here with some more Eastern Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, Prosecutor's Path. Last time, if I remember correctly, we were heavily suspecting Little Miss Hall here as being the most likely suspect because she has, free roam over, the entire thing that's happening and knows where, when people will be out of rooms and will be in rooms, and so she can prepare stuff and set stuff up like the gas trap and everything like that. But, yeah, But I also want to mention as well that I was incorrect in saying that this case has the hardest logic chess, and by hardest I mean where the timer runs down really quickly. It's actually the next case that has the hardest. I got a little bit confused, but anyway, that's all that. Let's carry on. Oh yes, we're back in the past. Oh god, I should have realised by the times, but yeah, we're back in the past. Huh? What are you doing here, Kate? Ah, Monsieur Shields and Monsieur Edgeworth. Allow me to apologise once again for all the trouble I caused you yesterday. Miss Hall looks a bit tired. Has Von Kammer finished interrogating you? Yes, aside from what happened to the ice sculptures, I was not at fault for anything else. Are you also here to meet with Master Jeff, Kate? Yes, I am worried about how he is holding up. It's Detective Bad. Detective Bad? Why are you here? I just happened to be here. I'll be heading out to the crime scene soon. I don't think this is the place that people happen to be, though. What has happened to your hair? Hello? Master Jeff! What happened to you? Oh no, Monsieur Master, why do you look so poor? I didn't get much sleep last night. The tribulation known as questioning was rather harsh. I'm just a little exhausted. I'm exhausted too. I woke up at between 2 and 3 this morning. Didn't get back to sleep. They didn't let you sleep? Even for an interrogation, that's going too far. Detective Bad. The detective in charge of the initial investigation was also in charge of the interrogation. I don't like Von Kammer's methods, but this was all I could do. He was the one who brought me here. It seems I was supposed to be interrogated for a little bit longer, though. Huh. It seems that Detective Bad is looking out for Mr. Master in his own way. So, shall we inform Mr. Master about what happened yesterday, Raymond? Yes, sir. I got all my memos right here. Mr. Master, we would like to inform you about yesterday's investigation. This will be a good recap, because I can't remember really. Yes, thank you very much. Please go ahead. Master Jeff, it's almost like your spirit's gone. Ah, my sugar levels are low, so I might not seem like my usual energetic self. Monsieur Master, do we have anything that can give his spirits and his glucose a boost? The guide's telling me to do this first, so where are they? The chocolates. Present. Oh, those chocolates. Are you giving them to me? Ah, those chocolates are... If possible, I would like to give them to you immediately. Oh, are these going to poison him or something? But it's against the rules to give anything to the suspects in the detention centre. I see. Regrettably, if those are the rules, then there's nothing we can do about it. Are you sure there's no way we can give them to him? Detective Bad. Looks like he noticed what we're trying to ask of him. Tisk. I'll inspect the chocolates, and if there are no problems, I'll think about it. Detective Bad. Thank you very much. Alright, I knew we could count on you, Detective Bad. I am truly in your debt. Wait right here. Okay, we're just gonna wait. Take it. Thank you very much. Not a word to anyone else. It would cause problems for me later. Yes, of course. I apologise for making you go through so much trouble. Now, I shall partake in eating these delicious delights at once. I'm sorry for asking you to do something so dangerous, Detective Bad. I only did what I wanted to do. Why can't you just be honest here, Detective? Oh, how sweet. It's like a comeback to life. Oh, did Kate make these chocolates? Yes, sir, I did. How does it taste? Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Sweet chocolates melting in my mouth. So sweet, so divine. That didn't really go to the tune, but thank you for the tasty treat. That can't be beat. Oh, they're a bit misshapen, but so sweet and delicious, thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And above all, it helps you regain your spirits. Thank you for your concern. The food they serve here has been absolutely tasteless. And combined with the lack of sleep, I was thoroughly exhausted. Is the food here that bad? Just salt beef and stew, your average prison fare. That is odd. I really could not taste anything. Huh? Whatever. I'm about to head out, to the crime scene. Please wait, Detective Bad. Can you give us any new information? Yeah, I think I can. We've identified the victim. Just as you said, Isaac Dover was a sculptor who worked in France. It seems he went by the name Pierre Hoquet. Ah, yes, I remember now. Isaac Dover was Pierre Hoquet. How could that be? Monsieur Pierre Hoquet. So Pierre Hoquet wasn't actually French, huh? Which is likely why he never showed himself in public while he worked under that name. The Zodiac sculptures. They were his masterpieces, it seems. Although they will remain forever unfinished. Unfinished? Even though they were his masterpieces? Can't speak today. It seems he worked on them by season. Once he finished the remaining winter constellations, his work would be done. Huh? The winter constellations are Taurus and Gemini, right? So those ice sculptures were his final pieces. It is heartbreaking that they melted. I cannot apologise enough. Oh, no, I wasn't blaming you or anything. Oh yeah, because she snuck into the thing, and it's my memory sometimes. I can remember the basics, but the specifics, like I could clearly remembered her being the suspect for the miles and stuff, but this, gone. Also, Dover was infamous for being greedy. He would charge hundreds of thousands just to make a single sculpture. It seemed like he always had money troubles. The murder might be related to that, but it's still under investigation. So he had money problems even though he was a famous artist? Do you know why he entered a dessert contest? Not yet. He kept it a secret, even from his family. I see. It's time. I'm bringing in the replacement guard. I can't hang around here any longer than I have. Yes, I understand. Let's meet again later. That detective is a kind soul. Indeed. He never strays from his own beliefs. He truly has a strong will. But he's pretty scary when you first meet him. I see. Could you tell me everything that happened yesterday? Of course. Allow me to give you a report of our investigation. So this is what happened. I am sorry for the trouble that Kate has caused you. I am truly very sorry. You have no need to worry so long as you have told the truth, Miss Hall. Mr. Master, would you mind if I asked you a few questions as well? Yes, I shall divulge all that I know. There we go, now we can talk. The contestants. Please tell us about the other 3 contestants in the final round of your contest. Let's see. Miss Delicious's desserts had a fantastic design. However, she broke the rules, so I could not recognise her as the winner. Up until the semi-finals, Mr. Gustavia's flavours and design were to my liking. Unfortunately, both the taste and appearance of his finals entry left much to be desired. And there was something strange about his dessert in the semi-finals. Something strange? Both Mr. Gustavia's and Mr. Dover's desserts had the exact same taste. They had different designs, but in terms of taste, it was like eating the same thing. What did they look like? Oh, there should be a picture of them at my mansion. Please allow me to show you later. Certainly, thank you very much. And then there was Mr. Dover's sherbet sculptures. Oh, they were absolutely heavenly. Did you have a chance to taste his creations? If I recall correctly, his body was discovered in the middle of judging. Yes, but I was not informed of this until after the judging had finished. Since he was not present in the room, I helped myself to a piece of his edible lyre. It was fantastically delicious. I was so moved I broke into song. Wait a moment, please. Did you say the lyre was delicious? Could you please give us a little more detail about that? The delicious lyre. I found out it's actually a lyre, I'm pretty sure, so. You ate the lyre from the sculpture in Mr. Dover's room, correct? Yep, the one that was in the same glass case as the Gemini sculpture. Please have a look at this picture, Mr. Master. Did you eat from this lyre that's missing the strings? Yep, that lyre originally has strings. However, I ate them all, resulting in what you see here in this picture. That's why. So the strings on the lyre were missing because he ate them. Actually, Delicia ate part of the same lyre that you did. However, she said it was so salty that she could not eat it. You don't say. That means there might be a problem with my sense of taste after all. A problem with your sense of taste? How so? There's a taste disorder called hypogresia, in which you lose the ability to taste salt. Perhaps I have contracted this illness. Just never realised it since I eat nothing but sweets. However, I now know with certainty. So that's why he couldn't tell what the food they served here tasted like. No! For a pastry chef to lose their sense of taste is fatal. Even if there is treatment for taste impairments, there isn't a cure for it yet. But it's probably best that you let the police know so you can receive a medical examination. No, that won't be necessary. There is a recipe in my mansion specifically for making the cure. A recipe for a drug that will cure your taste impairment? Yep, please look for it later when you return to the mansion. It's the angel's recipe, isn't it? Monsieur Master, but that means revealing the... Kate, we should no longer conceal it from Mr. Gregory. Yes, sir, I understand. If that is what you wish. A recipe for a special drug. Just what are they hiding? I need to close my curtains, the glare is killing me. Oh, well then, I must be returning to the mansion now, so... Oh, that's right, that's Kate. Well then, I must be returning to the mansion now, so I'll take my leave. Yes, we will be heading there later as well. Kate. What is it, Monsieur Master? You should not live for my sake. You should reconsider your lifestyle, so that you can live by yourself, even if I were no longer around. But please do not say things like that. I simply cannot live without you, Monsieur Master. I promise to wait for you until you return. Excuse me. Ah, Kate. Catherine. Master Jeff, Kate was crying. Why did you say something so cruel? I am worried about her. Catherine always puts me before herself. What do you mean? She collects Pierre Hoquet's works and makes sweets. All to make me happy, nothing more. That is the only reason she does anything. She always puts aside her own preferences and things that she wants to do herself. I want Catherine to choose to live her own life. Sorry, I'm burping. I do not want her to waste her valuable life because of me. Is that so? He thinks of Miss Hall as his own daughter. And he he would want his children to choose their own path in life. And a parent would do anything to protect their own children. That feeling. I also know it well. Well, that should do it for the questions. We must return to the scene of the crime. Ah, it is already time to leave, I see. So my tribulations and questioning resume? We should take measures against their interrogations from our side as well. Can you ask the police about that? I can, but I have other ways in mind as well. When the time comes... Ho-ho! You're a dependable man. I shall be counting on you. Master Jeff, we'll come here every day with reports of our progress. And we'll bring Kate too. Yes, thank you very much. I shall be looking forward to it. Mr. Master, know that the police will be attempting to get you to confess. I am sorry to ask an innocent soul like yourself to bear with these painful experiences. But please hold on for now. If you confess, I am positive that Von Kamm will use that to his advantage. And that will make helping you all that much more difficult. I understand. I shall do my best. If you believe in me until the bitter end, I will definitely get you out of here. Uh-oh. That makes me think he's going to confess to protect Catherine. That's not going to be good. Anyway, December 25th, 11:03 AM, contest venue, Fountain Patio. Detective Bad, thank you for helping us earlier. Yes, thank you. Thanks for what? There's no need to be shy about it. Tisk. Enough about that. I suppose you intend to investigate today too? Of course, we still need more information to prove Mr. Master's innocence. I'm sorry, but apart from this patio, you're not allowed to investigate anywhere else. What? So you're saying we can't investigate? I'm guessing this is Von Kammer's doing. Yep. Von Kammer's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. Moreover, the only ones in this mansion are Miss Hall and the police. So don't get your hopes up on speaking with the people connected to this case. Von Kammer's being completely unreasonable. He's gone too far. Detective Bad, what do you intend to do? I promised I'll do anything I can to assist you. You have my thanks. We won't let any of Von Kammer's dirty tricks get the best of us. Detective Bad, is it alright if we investigate the Fountain Patio? Yep, but we've already finished checking everything, except for the fountain. That's fine, as long as there is still something, I shall continue investigating. Begin investigation, contest venue, Fountain Patio. Okay, so somewhere in this place is Catherine. Oh, there she is. I should have realised she'd be over here. She looks so sad. Miss Hall, I've come to investigate today. Monsieur Edgeworth, I apologise for my disgraceful behaviour earlier. Kate. She still looks a bit down. What Master said earlier must have been a real shock to her. I prepared the photo I took of the desserts during the semi-finals. Please take a look. Ooh. Wow, delicious cake is so cute. Monsieur Master also praised the designer Delicia's work very highly. Messieurs Gustavia and Dover's works gained high praise for both taste and design, but Monsieur Master said he felt like he was eating the exact same thing twice. But it seems that their desserts had completely different tastes for the finals. Was there anything else that was different between the finals and the semi-finals? It's nothing major, but there was something. During the contest, Monsieur Gustavia's son always came to see him, but there was no sign of him at the finals. His son came to visit. I wonder if there is any significance behind that. Would you mind leaving this photo with me? Certainly. Anything to aid in the investigation. Semi-final desserts added to the court record. And here's the recipe book that contains a special drug for curing taste disorders. That cover looks familiar. Wasn't this framed in Master's room? Since it's also the prize for the contest, we put it out on display. Ah, so the contest prize Angel's recipe wasn't just a recipe for desserts. That's right, we've informed the participants, but it seems you all don't know yet. So the participants knew about the true contents of the Angel's recipe. Angel's recipe book added to the court record. Miss Hall, please tell me all you know about the Angel's recipe. The Angel's recipe. So the Angel's recipe contains the formula for the drug. Yep, it's a recipe book for new drugs that haven't been released to the public yet. It's sold to a pharmaceutical company. I'm sure it would fetch a suitable price. Why, is something like that a prize in the contest? Monsieur Master is the only heir to the chairman of the Master Group. Master Group? That name sounds familiar. They're a pharmaceutical company who deal in a wide range of products. Ah, they've become big news recently with the release of Cold Killer X. Oh yes, we all know Cold Killer X. I often use the Cold Killer products, but I've never once seen you with a cold. I would like to hear more about the Master Group. Master Group? Did Mr. Master not want to follow in his parents' footsteps? Monsieur Master wanted to bring joy to people with his desserts. His parents also wanted him to become a great pastry chef and supported him. When his parents died, the recipe book was left to him as his inheritance. Why would he give away a memento of his parents as a prize in the contest? There were always people who were after it, something which troubled Monsieur Master. But just giving away the memento would have been disrespectful to his parents. So he decided to pass it over to someone he acknowledged. And the members of the Master Group approved of that? Information about new drugs being passed on to outsiders. Of course they objected. That's why Delicia participated in the contest. On the order of the Master Group, she was requested to win the championship. You knew Delicia's true identity from the start? Yes, in order for her to win, I told her Monsieur Master's tastes and preferences. Why did you help her? I helped her in order to protect Monsieur Master and the Master Group. If the drug recipes were given to another company, he would be reprimanded by the board. I wanted to return the recipes to the company in a way that Monsieur Master would accept. So it was due to Miss Hall's help that Delicia was able to reach the finals. Speaking of which, Mr. Dove wasn't a pastry chef either. He sure did well to make it to the finals, considering he's just a sculptor. Yes, for him to be able to make such fine desserts despite being a sculptor. From the sherbet sculptures he made for the finals, it's clear to see he has great talent, but could he really have made that by himself? That is all I know. Is there anything else I can do to help? To say Mr. Master, she's trying to help as much as she can. May we perhaps have some more of that tea from yesterday, please, Miss Hall? I'm sure that would help us get on with the investigation. Yeah, I'd like some of Kate's tea too. Right, understood. I'll be back in a minute. Kate looks a bit better now. Okay, so we're gonna go talk to the officer in front of the fountain. What you found there, Jeff? What are you investigating exactly? Sir, I'm testing the water in the fountain for foreign matter, sir. You did it, just like I would. Have you found anything? It seems there's both chocolate and sherbet mixed in with the fountain water. It matches the chocolate from Jeff Master's room, and the sherbet that melted in Isaac Dover's room. They all share the same composition. The fountain water circulates through the streams that flow from each of the 4 rooms. Perhaps the melted sherbet flowed into the fountain. Also, someone's blood was detected as well. What are you saying? How could there have been blood in the fountain? Detective Bad, please think back to our investigation of the crime scene. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. certainly didn't get any reports about the bloodstain being cleaned up. The blood disappeared from the crime scene. Also, part of the treasure chest was missing too. Perhaps the blood in the fountain belongs to this person. There he is. Take that! Ah, the victim. Let's run a comparison with the blood on the murder weapon. Did I just unlock an achievement? It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. I wonder why the criminal spilled the victim's blood into the fountain. Victim's blood added to the court record. Are we actually going to use like much of this stuff? Investigation complete! We've gathered information about all the contestants. And yet we still haven't heard Gustavia's side of the story. That reminds me. Why did you enter Mr. Dover's room, Mr. Gustavia? Oh, well, that was because... Silence, ignoramus! You are not to give that attorney the tiniest hint of information. What exactly was he doing in Mr. Dover's room? And moreover, something is odd about his semi-final entry. A pastry chef bad at design and a sculptor skilled only at designing. It would have been extremely difficult for either of them to win the contest alone. Could it be that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's connection is... detected bad? We have reason to suspect the actions of Dame Gustavia. Yeah. It is imperative that we find a way to contact him at once. Oh? This conversation is most interesting. Karma. However, I cannot allow you to speak with Mr. Gustavia. Von Karma. I have already conducted my interrogation of him. It is not necessary for him to speak any further, especially to a mere defense attorney. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But I will answer your questions in that fool's place. It seems Von Karma intends to prevent me from meeting Gustavia in person. I understand. In that case, I have but one thing to ask you. Yes? I would like to know the relationship between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Here we go. Their connection. Gustavia and Dover's relationship? It's obvious the only relationship they had was that they happened to participate in the same contest. That's it? Oh, Gregory. Two minds think alike. I know it's great minds, but I don't really exactly have a great mind. There's nothing more to say. What? How are we supposed to understand anything from so little? If you want Von Karma to divulge the truth, we have no choice but to present evidence. It's all too obvious that he's hiding something. Well, I guess, right, for this, we present... Where would that be? The semi-finals desserts. Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like you to look at these desserts. The desserts were made for the contest semi-finals. Don't you think these two have a particularly impressive design? Just what are you getting at? These two desserts were made by Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Gustavia's design skills praiseworthy, and yet for the semi-finals he was able to produce something comparable to Mr. Dover's. Furthermore, these two desserts have the exact same flavour. What are you trying to say? I'm saying it's possible they collaborated with each other on their entries. Prosecutor Von Karma, please take a closer look at their desserts. At first glance, they may look completely different. But even though the designs are different, it's clear they were made from the same materials. Is that so? The same flavour and composition? It's impossible to dismiss their similarity as coincidence. The very existence of these two desserts points to a link between Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover. Since you already know this much, I'll tell you the truth. Did Von Karma know about their collaboration? However, what I am about to say is not going to help your case at all. Here we go again. Their real connection. If you want to know about Gustavia and Dover's connection so badly, I'll tell you. Last night, when I interrogated Gustavia, he told me about his connection with Dover. Until the day before the finals, they worked on their desserts together. You knew about their cooperation all this time, didn't you? Why would you conceal truth? I would appreciate it if you didn't sully my reputation. Until I explain my points in court, I avoid giving away unnecessary details. I was merely saving you time. How can he act like this and keep the truth from us? His concealment of the truth is something I simply cannot ignore. Okay, so we've got to go to until the day before the finals. And we press. Why do you think Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover collaborated? Why? Because Gustavia had poor design sense and Dover was a novice at baking. Without the help of each other, they would never have made it through a single round. If so, what was their mutual goal? Why cooperate until the finals? The finals will be fought on our own merits, Gustavia said, and he ended their collaboration. Gustavia's goal was to obtain the title of the world's greatest pastry chef. It seems his pride as a pastry chef won out in the end. Victory in the finals would certainly have been hollow had he cheated, so he believes that their cooperation only went as far as the semi-finals. But what if it really continued through the finals? Prosecutor von Karma, could you explain their cooperation in a little more detail? Very well. Why? Because Gustavia had... yeah. Wait, where am I supposed to be going here? The cooperation lesson for the semi-finals. For the finals, they're on their own. Okay, there it is. We present... Delicia's testimony.
Objection!
You say that Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover did not collaborate during the finals. That's strange. Delicia testified that Dover's sherbet was most delicious. Being a novice chef, I doubt he could have done all that by himself. Perhaps the two of them cooperated during the finals as well. Defense attorney, how many times do I have to tell you? Delicia Scones' subjective opinion cannot be admitted as evidence. There is still a chance that a novice chef could make something tasty. My wife is an amateur. Her cooking rivals that of world-class chefs. How is that not a subjective opinion? Moreover, even if you take this pharmacist's testimony to be true, it changes nothing. She also mentioned that a part of her sherbet was very salty, which means you can hardly call his entry for the finals perfect. No! Tusk. What? No more objections? Is there no way I can prove their collaboration? Miss Edgeworth? There's something that's been bugging me. What is it? The desserts Mr. Dover made for the finals would have taken a long time to make, right? Indeed. They were frozen sculptures, after all. How would he have had the time to sculpt it after it was frozen? Let alone helped Mr. Gustavia with his design as well. The way I see it, just waiting for the sherbet to freeze would have used up all of his time. Just how was he able to make those sherbet sculptures? Raymond, you may have a promising future after all. Thanks to you, I have noticed one more possibility. That's right. Mr. Dover's sherbet needed time to freeze properly, and the contest's time limit would not have been enough. The method Mr. Dover used to make his sherbet within the time limit was... It was prepared in advance, it was frozen on the day, they weren't desserts, it was prepared in advance. If the sherbet was prepared in advance, all they'd need to do was sculpt it. What are you mumbling about? Please excuse me, I finally realised. Your earlier view was correct. Miss Edgeworth! What are you doing? Oh, so you're finally admitting defeat. No, all I'm admitting to is the truth of one of your statements. Dover and Gustavia's collaboration lasted only until the day before the finals. It is exactly as you said. They only cooperated until the day before the finals. The sculptures in Mr. Dover's room were all made out of sherbet. Such an amount would most likely need to be left overnight to freeze, which means Mr. Gustavia prepared Mr. Dover's sherbet in advance the day before. That's right, so you realise Gustavia's cooperation ended the day before the finals. Then why did Mr. Dover not help Miss Gustavia in return? The views of the dead are of no concern to me. If you aren't going to answer that, I'll need to get in touch with Mr. Gustavia himself. Or was your interrogation not quite as thorough as you claim? You ingrate! You dare mock me! That was not my intention, but I do have a problem with your attitude. I want you to give us a clear reason why we can't speak to Miss Gustavia in person. A clear reason? Gustavia and Dover's collaboration has no bearing on this case. You claim that collaboration is irrelevant. If Mr. Gustavia and Mr. Dover's relationship had turned sour, it could serve as a motive for murder. You're saying that Gustavia and Dover's collaboration was linked to the motive for the murder? If that were the case, why did he not conceal it? After all, we found out about this collaboration from Gustavia himself. If you really are a lawyer, show us evidence that gives us reason to suspect Gustavia. Only one of Miss Gustavia's actions has been suspicious so far. Doubtless Von Karma already knows of this fact. This could be a trap by Von Karma. What's wrong, defence attorney? Not going to answer? But I mustn't back down now. Mr. Gustavia sneaked into Mr. Dover's room. His reasons for this are currently unclear. The very fact he secretly entered the victim's room is reason enough to suspect him. Tisk tisk tisk. If that's the extent of it, I can dispel those doubts. I knew it. Was it a trap after all? I was intended to save this for the courtroom, but I'll make a special exception. We wouldn't want to prolong the trial with unnecessary information, would we? Take a look at this. This is a photo of Gustavia and Dover, and their sons. Family photo added to the court record. Gustavia entered Dover's room in order to steal this photo. To steal the photo? It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Apparently he thought that he'd be suspected if people found out he and Dover were acquainted. Yes, just like you're doing now. There is nothing suspicious about Gustavia's actions. No further room for arguments. No! He's still adamant on not letting us meet with Mr. Gustavia. I have an investigation to return to. I have no more time to waste on the likes of you. Curse that Von Karma, calling us a waste of time. What should we do, Miss Edgeworth? At this rate, Master Jeff will be... Von Karma is busy? Of course. Why would he be so busy? Both the body and murder weapon have been found, and he already has his suspect. God, my stutter. The police should have more than enough evidence to prove Mr. Master's guilt. If that's the case, then why is Von Karma still investigating the crime scene? Miss Edgeworth, is there something wrong? It seems I have been overlooking a matter of vital importance. Considering that he already has the evidence he needs to convict Mr. Master, I feel that Von Karma isn't as composed as he should be. He didn't even tell Detective Bad the full results of the investigation. Yeah, Von Karma's a bit on edge at the moment. He still hasn't received the autopsy report. No autopsy report. A day after the incident, the autopsy report still has not arrived. Logic added. Furthermore, something vanished from the crime scene, and we still don't know why. Detective Bad, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The bloodstain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. Bloodstain disappeared, the victim's blood was not found in Mr. Master's room. Logic added. I definitely did get some reports about the bloodstain being cleared up. But the strangest thing we found wasn't in Mr. Master's room at all. It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Dover's. Blood in the water fountain, traces of Dover's blood was found in the fountain water. Logic added. Mr. Dover's blood vanished from Mr. Master's room, and somehow found its way into the fountain. What does this mean? Logic time! So, blood in the fountain, and the bloodstain disappeared, because obviously... Although the victim's blood wasn't found in Mr. Master's room, it was detected in the water fountain. There would be no need for the killer to conceal the bloodstains after the body was found. It's unnatural that only the bloodstains that were found with the body disappeared. Unless the body was moved, the blood would have still remained on the chocolates. Don't tell me someone removed the body and then erased the bloodstains. Was the body removed, blood vanished from the scene because body was removed? Logic added. Back to the logic, and of course there's only two. Not just a report, was the body removed? Connect. It's possible that the body was removed from the crime scene, and the autopsy report still has not arrived. Although we have a murder weapon and a suspect, we don't know much about the body. I've been investigating under the assumption that the body had been discovered. Perhaps this assumption was wrong from the very beginning. Why didn't Von Karma give Detective Bad the autopsy report? To understand that, yes, I must turn my logic around. It's turnabout time! My thinking shouldn't be why is Von Karma hiding information about the body, but rather what if Von Karma doesn't even have the information to begin with? What happens if I think of it like that? It's possible that the body wasn't removed by the police for autopsy. It was moved and hidden by the real killer. Mr. Edgeworth, I've heard many dark rumours surrounding Von Karma. He's a prosecutor who forges evidence, fabricates testimonies, and makes backroom deals. Yeah, I've heard that too, but what does that have to do with this? I try to avoid judging others based on rumours, and I didn't let those rumours influence my opinion on Von Karma, until today. It seems he's a man who would distort the truth. Distort the truth? You don't mean forgery? I do, and I can't allow him to get away with this. I must return to the prosecutor's office for now. There's a word to that attorney. Roger.
Hold it.
What do you want, defense attorney? I want to know the truth that you've been hiding. Fool, are you trying to mislead the police's investigation again? If you interfere with the investigation anymore, I'll be forced to reprimand you myself.
Objection.
Police? No. My objection is with you. What? Isn't it a prosecutor's job to ensure justice for criminals? Heh. What are you saying? I have no time to debate the job of a prosecutor with you. However, I will tell you one thing. My job is to ensure all those I prosecute are found guilty. Before the perfect proof, there can be no room for doubt.
Objection.
And to find that perfect proof, you would even stoop to forgery? Ha! I was wondering what you were going on about. You intend to accuse me of forgery, don't you? Yes. And it's for that reason you did not allow Detective Bad to investigate. What do you mean? The real reason Detective Bad wasn't investigating was not so he could keep an eye on us. It was to hide the fact that you never found the body. What? They never found the body?
Objection.
You cretins, you will cease with these ludicrous accusations. I will not tolerate any further insults. In that case, let us verify the body. If you do, we will have evidence that shows whether I am right or not. Arrgh. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The burden of proof falls on you, defense attorney. I have no reason to comply with your baseless conjecture.
Objection.
You must have noticed it too, the lack of bloodstains at the crime scene. So why did the blood vanish? And more importantly, where did it go? Foolishness. Why would anyone erase just the blood in the chest that contained the body? Yes, that's exactly right. If the body had been found there, the disappearing bloodstains would have no meaning at all. However, what if the body was already gone? To erase the traces of the body being there, one would have to get rid of the bloodstains as well. Why make such a fuss over those bloodstains? It seems like a trivial detail to me. Or are you saying that you can show me where those bloodstains went? In court, everything must be said with evidence. Isn't that right, Von Karma? In that case, I'll show you the evidence supporting my claim. Which piece of evidence shows where the blood in Mr. Master's room went? Where is it? What am I looking at here? Victim's blood. That's not it, is it? Apparently it is. There were traces of the victim's blood found in the fountain. Traces of Mr. Master's chocolate were also found in this very fountain. In other words, the blood was washed down the stream, which then flowed into the fountain. All of this points to only one possibility. After the body was removed, someone erased the bloodstains. Gah! Von Karma, where was the body really found? If you really found the body, you should be able to answer. How do you know this information? How do you know the results of the water composition test on the fountain? Because I allowed them to investigate. Bad! Always a thorn in my side. From here on out, I will not allow you to associate any further with this case. It's not like you were letting me do much anyway. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Or are you admitting to the fact that you didn't find the body after all? Tisk tisk tisk. You say I never found the body? Where is your evidence? He's never going to confess. I have nothing further to say to you. Gregory Edgeworth, this matter will be decided in court. You'll see just how well your logic holds up there. Von Karma, I know your methods are wrong. I promise, without fail, I will expose the truth you've hidden. Detective Bad, I'm sorry. It's because you let me investigate that. No, this was bound to happen, sooner or later. This is also the first time I've been restricted in my investigation. Your theory that they never found the body sounds pretty close to the mark. That I will make clear in court. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Even though I'm no longer in charge of this case. Then, though I'm very sorry about this, I have one more favour to ask of you. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? I want to know too. This will be my trump card in court. The information I've gathered up until now should be enough to prove Mr. Master's innocence. But, if all else fails, I'll have this ready. Your trump card? Haha. You'll see at the trial. Wow, I get to be at the trial too? Of course. You're my assistant after all. Haha. I'll be an ace attorney too next year. Von Karma will never beat the two of us. Right. Although I hope to clear Mr. Master's name before you become a lawyer. If Von Karma is to be my opponent, he'll want the trial ended in a day. That's right, we have to save Master Jeff as fast as we can. After all, this is you we're talking about. I'm sure you'll beat Von Karma. Jeff Master, alone in a dark cell, arrested on false charges. I must expose Von Karma's lies if I am to save him. To be continued! Oh, about 50 minutes. Woo! Are we actually going to be in court? Because I don't think we're going to be. From what I've, looked at in the guide, I've not, read further to see spoilers or anything, but just general, looking through it, see how long each section is. I've not seen anything that states about being in court, but I don't know. We'll see. But it'd be very interesting if they put in a court section in a Miles Edgeworth game. But we'll have to see what happens next time. But I want to say as well, that was the end of the middle of this case. Next time we're moving into the end parts, and I think that means there's 3 more episodes that are part of the end. I'm pretty sure it's 3. The next one should just be an hour long, hopefully. The one after that should hopefully just be an hour long. But then the last one, probably going to be an hour and a half, because there is a lengthy logic chess part in it, so that's going to be fun. But anyway, we'll see what happens next time. So thank you for watching. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.